Okay, the next problem on the list is M44. M44 builds upon M43. It now wants us to record the journal entries associated with M43 so that we can make the adjustments. Okay, I've written a few of them to save time, but then we'll go through the first three together. Number one, we saw that we had supplies for office were purchased during the year for 500, of which 100 remain on hand unused. Draw real quickly, and I'm going to erase this in a minute, but draw real quickly supplies account here. The easiest way to determine this is use a T account, okay? Initially we started with 500, it told us that. If we draw the ending balance, it told us that at the end of the period we had 100 left. Therefore we must have used 400. This is our answer for our journal entry, okay? It's not 100, that's not our journal entry. Our adjustment, our deferral adjustment that we're making is to record the 400 that's been used up, okay? So I'm going to erase this here. And the journal entry that we want to make, I kind of foreshadowed this when we did M43, but the journal entry that we want to make is debit supplies expense 400 and credit supplies to reduce it 400. Okay. Next. Tells us that interest of $250 on a notes receivable is earned at the year end, although the collection of the interest is not due until the following year. Since collection is not due until the following year, we don't get cash, but we have a right to receive the cash. A right to receive the cash, and that will be interest receivable, right? Not accounts receivable, but interest receivable. That's the right to receive the interest. Why? Because we've earned it. How do you earn interest? Time passes. Think about what interest is. Interest is like rent payment on cash, right? You loan out someone some money, they owe you an interest payment because they're renting your cash. So you earn rental revenue as time passes, just like you earn interest as time passes, okay? So we'll debit interest receivable, we'll credit interest revenue, which is a specific type of revenue that we're getting here, and it told us we get $250, so we'll put 250, 250. Okay. Next one, number 3. Tells us that at year-end, wages payable of $3,600 had not yet been paid or recorded. In this instance, we talked about this in the last one for M43. We would debit wages expense here because we've incurred an expense. Why? The employees have provided a service. Tells us it was $3,600. And then we would credit wages payable. Why not cash? Why don't we credit cash? Because we have not yet paid it. We owe it because they've worked, but we've not yet paid it. Looking at the last two, at year-end, at year-end, 1/2 of the 2,000 advertising project had been completed for a client, but nothing yet been billed or recorded. In that instance, because we haven't received any cash or anything from them, obviously because we haven't billed or sent them out any sort of invoice or anything like that, we debit accounts receivable here, credit advertising revenue. Because we've earned the revenue, we have a right to receive cash from them, even though we haven't received it yet. So we debit accounts receivable, credit advertising revenue. Notice it's for $1,000, not for $2,000. Why? Because we've only earned half of the project. The last one is redeemed a gift card for 600 services. Debit unearned revenue here to reduce it. Remember, unearned revenue is a liability. We're reducing our obligation here. And credit revenue, why? Because we've earned the money. Now we've earned it because we provided the service. The service was to redeem the gift cards, so we've now done that. Okay, please send me any questions that you have over M44.